What's up guys, CarVisionLA here. I'm coming at you from Helsinki, Finland, where I have rented this BMW 116d, not available in the United States of America. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a taste of what it's like to drive in Europe. Now, driving in Europe is much more different than driving in the US. The first thing you notice, the roads are about half to a quarter of the size as the roads in the US, and they're also made out of cobblestone. So you wonder why the cars are so small in Europe. Well, this is why. You can't have cars like a Chevy Tahoe in a place like any European city, because it just won't fit. It'll literally take up like the whole road, and no car will be able to drive around you. These are old streets. These are very old cities, so all the roads are made out of cobblestone. So you're literally getting tossed around. You're gonna feel every single bump in the road. Another thing, the trains just drive on the street like that. So you not only get to watch out for pedestrians, watch out for animals and other obstacles on the road, you also have to look out for the trains. The weird thing is, outside of the US and Canada, most countries have roads like this. So most of the world is used to driving cars just like the way I'm doing it right now. It's quite a weird experience. There's not as much rhyme and reason to driving as there is in the United States. Everything in the US is very smooth, and everyone stops at a red light and everyone goes at a green light. There's clearly defined intersection lines. In Europe, it's almost a little bit of a free-for-all. I wouldn't say it's not as disorganized as other countries, but in Europe, you definitely have to be on the lookout, because cars will literally just turn right in front of you. The pedestrians will walk out into the middle of the road. People on bikes will ride out into the middle of the road. You have to be 100%, 110% alert at all times when driving in Europe. That's not a bad thing, because a lot of people in the US, they text and drive. They don't pay attention. They just do everything except pay attention to the road. But in Europe, that's not going to fly here, because you just have to have like complete 360-degree vision. Another thing about driving in Europe is basically every car is equipped with a manual transmission. I'm not sure exactly why, but I believe over 90% of the cars here are equipped with a manual transmission, and this vehicle is no exception. This is a BMW 116d. It's a diesel car, and that's another thing. Most cars are diesel because gas is so expensive. So if you don't know how to drive manual, then you should probably not drive in Europe, because even the rental cars, US rental car companies never rent manual transmission vehicles, because manual transmission is not very popular in the United States, but over 90% of the cars here in Europe are manual transmission. And you know what, that's actually not a bad thing. The roads are so hilly, so bumpy, you kind of need to be in and out of gears and be able to control the car, to have more control over the car. Cars just stop in the middle of the road. They put on their hazards and stop, and there's nothing really you could do about it. I mean, you just have to wait there. The roads are so narrow that you can't really pass, and I guess that's just the custom here. In the US, people would get so frustrated and freaked out about someone stopping in the middle of the road. The cops would probably come ticket the person. Here in Europe, doesn't seem like it's much of a problem. The thing is, here in Europe, you can't really get out of first or second gear. I have not even shifted into third gear once, and because you can't really go much faster than 15-20 miles an hour, because there's so many peds, there's so many bikes, the roads are rough, and you just have to be aware. So going fast in the city, we're used to going, see, I just had to stop for a pedestrian there. We're used to going like 30-35 miles an hour in the city, back home in California and in a lot of other American cities. Here in Europe, that is not the case. You're not going to get past 20 miles an hour, trust me. So if you want to go fast and break some necks, don't drive in Europe. I have a lot of respect for the drivers here in Europe. They really know how to navigate these small streets. They use the lanes very efficiently. They don't hog them up at all. They just know how to drive and drive much better than a lot of people in the United States. So it really takes some skill to drive here and get good at driving here. And you know, that's quite a respectable skill. Well guys, there is a quick taste about what it's like to drive here in Europe. It's quite an experience from driving in the United States for all of my driving career, and I actually quite enjoy it. I love driving stick shift. I love navigating these narrow streets, and driving these Euro cars, even though they don't have a ton of power, they are quite fun to drive and pretty nimble. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, follow us on Instagram at CarVisionLA for news updates, exclusive content, and giveaway notifications. I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out.